The restaurant buzzed with quiet laughter, the soft clink of crystal glasses, and the warm golden glow of chandeliers reflecting off polished dark wood. Yet at one corner table, tension hung heavy like a storm cloud. Mr. Donovan, a tall, broad-shouldered billionaire in his late 40s, sat with sharp blue eyes flashing, jaw clenched, and salt and pepper hair slicked back perfectly. Power radiated from him like a force field, and even the elegant diners around him seemed to shrink under his glare. Approaching him with measured grace, Lily, a slender young waitress in her mid-20s, carried his tray with quiet dignity. Her chestnut hair was pulled into a neat bun, soft strands brushing her pale, delicate cheeks. Her soft brown eyes, though tired from long shifts, radiated courage, and her slender shoulders remained squared, poised under the weight of his anger. Without warning, Donovan slammed his hand on the table, the sharp crack echoing through the room. Gasps fell into stunned silence. Lily's heart pounded, but she did not flinch. And then, with a calm strength that belied her youth and exhaustion, she spoke a single sentence, a sentence so simple, so honest, that the entire room froze, including the billionaire himself. The fine dining restaurant gleamed under the soft golden glow of chandeliers, each crystal prism scattering warm light across polished dark wood tables and sparkling silverware. Elegant diners in tuxedos and flowing evening gowns sipped wine and whispered quietly, their conversations mingling with the gentle strains of a live string quartet. In the midst of this refined atmosphere moved Lily, a slender young waitress in her mid-20s, carrying trays with practiced precision. Her chestnut hair was pulled back into a neat bun, a few soft strands brushing her pale, delicate face. Though exhaustion lingered beneath her soft brown eyes, her gentle smile radiated quiet strength and grace. Each movement she made, setting down a crystal glass, arranging silverware, adjusting a napkin, was fluid, almost choreographed, yet carried the subtle tension of someone balancing multiple shifts and personal worries. At a lavish corner table sat Mr. Donovan, a tall, broad-shouldered billionaire in his late 40s. His salt and pepper hair was slicked back, his jawline sharp and strong, and his piercing blue eyes scanned the room with an air of impatience. Dressed in a perfectly tailored navy suit with polished black leather shoes and a crisp white shirt, he exuded authority and power. Every glance at his gold watch, every subtle shift in his rigid posture, conveyed that he considered the world to be at his command. As Lily approached with his order, she lowered her gaze politely, her hand steady despite the faint tremor of nervous energy. The air seemed to thicken in anticipation, a quiet tension threading through the room as her humility and calm presence brushed up against the billionaire's cold, commanding aura. The scene was set, a collision of worlds, one of quiet resilience and one of wealth and dominance, both about to change forever. The restaurant, once filled with gentle laughter and soft music, suddenly seemed to hold its breath. At the corner table, Mr. Donovan, the tall, broad-shouldered billionaire in his late 40s, had reached the peak of his impatience. His salt and pepper hair was perfectly slicked back, but the flush creeping across his strong jawline betrayed his growing fury. Piercing blue eyes blazed with anger as he slammed his hand onto the polished mahogany table. The sharp crack echoed like a gunshot, silencing diners mid-bite, freezing servers mid-step, and halting the soft hum of conversation. Every crystal glass, every polished piece of silverware, reflected the golden chandelier light, highlighting the sudden tension that now gripped the room. Lily, slender and graceful in her mid-20s, approached cautiously with a tray in her hands, her chestnut hair pulled back into a neat bun, soft strands framing her pale, delicate face. Her soft brown eyes widened, a mixture of fear, shock, and quiet determination. Knuckles whitening, she gripped the silver tray tightly, yet her shoulders remained squared, her posture upright and dignified. Exhaustion from endless shifts lingered beneath the surface, but it was overpowered by a courage that refused to yield. The restaurant had transformed in an instant, elegant diners in tuxedos and evening gowns froze mid-motion, forks suspended in the air, eyes wide with disbelief. Whispers died in throats, replaced by an almost tangible tension. The golden light of the chandeliers shimmered off the polished surfaces, but it could not soften the intensity now present in the room. Every detail, the gleam of crystal, the shine of silver, the poised determination of Lily, converged in cinematic contrast, a silent standoff between arrogance and quiet strength, setting the stage for a single moment that would change everything. The restaurant remained eerily silent, the golden chandelier light casting a warm glow over the polished tables and sparkling crystal glasses. All eyes were on Lily, the slender young waitress in her mid-20s, standing with calm dignity at the corner table. Her chestnut hair was pulled back into a neat bun, soft strands brushing her pale, delicate cheeks, and her soft brown eyes shone with quiet courage and determination. She wore a crisp white blouse tucked neatly into a fitted black skirt, with a perfectly tied black apron at her waist. Despite the exhaustion etched in her delicate features, she radiated strength, her shoulders squared and her posture upright, poised like a pillar of calm in the storm of tension. Across from her, Mr. Donovan, the tall, broad-shouldered billionaire in his late 40s, stared in stunned disbelief. His piercing blue eyes widened, jaw slackening, and the usual rigidity in his tailored navy suit softened as her words began to pierce through his armor. The polished crystal glasses and silverware on the table reflected the warm chandelier light, emphasizing the stark contrast between his wealth, power, and the humility now emerging in his expression. Then Lily spoke, her voice steady, calm, yet piercing through the charged atmosphere. "Sir, I may not know who you are, but I know this, every person deserves kindness, no matter how much power or money they have." The room seemed to hold its breath. Elegant diners in tuxedos and evening gowns froze mid-motion, forks suspended, mouths slightly open, captivated by the young waitress whose courage had silenced arrogance. The golden light shimmered across the scene, casting cinematic highlights on her pale face and soft hair. In that suspended moment, the entire restaurant bore witness to the collision of humility and power, a single sentence transforming tension into awe, and arrogance into reflection. The restaurant, once tense and suffocating, seemed to breathe again, though a new, delicate energy lingered in the air. Mr. Donovan, the tall, broad-shouldered billionaire in his late 40s, remained at his lavish corner table, but the sharp rigidity that had defined him moments ago softened. His salt and pepper hair remained perfectly slicked back, but the lines of his strong jaw relaxed, and his piercing blue eyes, once blazing with impatience, now reflected a rare mixture of shame, realization, and gentle humility. His perfectly tailored dark navy suit and crisp white shirt remained immaculate, polished black shoes resting calmly beneath the table, yet the power they once radiated now seemed tempered by introspection. Standing before him, Lily, a slender young waitress in her mid-20s, maintained her poised, graceful composure. Her chestnut hair, pulled into a neat bun, with soft strands framing her pale, delicate face, shimmered under the warm chandelier light. Her soft brown eyes glimmered with quiet pride and empathy, recognizing the subtle change in the once arrogant man. Her crisp white blouse and fitted black skirt, along with the neatly tied apron, added elegance to her upright, dignified stance. She held her silver tray lightly at her side, her shoulders squared, radiating calm strength. Around them, diners in tuxedos and evening gowns observed the quiet transformation, frozen mid-motion, their whispers suspended. The golden chandelier light reflected off crystal glasses, polished silverware, and dark wood tables, casting cinematic highlights that emphasized the emotional gravity of the moment. In this suspended silence, the collision of arrogance and courage gave way to reflection and humility. The billionaire, softened by the young waitress's unwavering dignity, allowed a quiet warmth to enter the space between them, turning tension into a tender, heart-touching connection. The restaurant had returned to its soft hum of conversation, but the golden chandelier light now seemed warmer, gentler, casting a tender glow across polished tables and sparkling crystal glasses. At the corner table, Mr. Donovan, the tall, broad-shouldered billionaire in his late 40s, sat with a calm authority softened by humility. His salt and pepper hair remained perfectly slicked back, piercing blue eyes now gentle and observant, his tailored dark navy suit and crisp white shirt immaculate. Polished black shoes rested neatly beneath the table, his posture relaxed yet dignified, a quiet reflection of the change that had begun moments ago. Lily, slender and graceful in her mid-20s, approached once more, chestnut hair in a neat bun with soft strands framing her pale, delicate face. Her soft brown eyes widened in surprise and warmth as she noticed a small envelope placed delicately on her silver tray, accompanied by a modest bouquet of fresh flowers. Exhaustion melted from her features, replaced by a glow of gratitude, humility, and unexpected joy. Her crisp white blouse tucked neatly into her fitted black skirt and the perfectly tied apron added elegance to her poised stance, shoulders squared, and posture calm yet emotionally alive. Around them, the restaurant's elegant diners in flowing evening gowns and tuxedos watched discreetly, captivated by the tender, transformative moment unfolding. The golden chandelier light shimmered off polished silverware and crystal, highlighting the delicate intimacy of the scene. A hush of quiet awe lingered, as if the world had paused to witness a small act of kindness bridging the gap between power and humility. In that instant, the arrogance that had once dominated the room dissolved into warmth and connection, leaving behind courage, compassion, and a gentle reminder that even the smallest gestures can touch hearts and change lives.